Hey everybody, this is Dr. William Clark here for MBA 610 Leading Organizations and People. And I wanted to kick off the conversation about the Clifton Strengths Finder. And instead of writing my discussion post, I figured that I just record a video for you guys. You know, in the midst of this particular course, we don't get a lot of opportunity to interact with each other through lecture because this is an online course. But I think that providing an ample number of recorded videos for you to hear my voice and for you to just interact with me in a different way helps provide nuance to the class. And so I felt this was a good opportunity to do just that. So I'm going to answer the questions in the discussion, and I'm going to simultaneously show you my strength finders while going through the discussion and just share some thoughts with you that came to my mind as I looked at these questions. You should follow the directions in this particular discussion post. Do not record a video. Do not record an audio. Go ahead and write in the discussion. But I felt that recording a video would help just move the class along pretty nicely and to give you just an idea what the thought process may look like as you go through this process of engaging your classmates and sharing a little bit more about yourself. Now, here's the first question. And right here it says, were you surprised at any of the strengths listed? Quite frankly, no. I was, when I took the assessment, and the assessment takes 45 to 60 minutes, you know, as any person, you really don't know what the outcomes are going to be because all these questions seem to be all over the place. But when I do an evaluation of the 5 strengths that are listed here, they sound just like me. You know, as a leader, and especially as someone who is an executive of a nonprofit based in Connecticut, I have to be very futuristic in my thinking. I'm always thinking down the road, thinking about tomorrow, thinking about next month, thinking about next year, thinking about the next 3 to 5 years, and putting into place strategies, concepts, plans, ideas, relationships that will advance the work of the organization that I'm a part of. And when I see futuristic as my number one strength, that makes sense to me. Secondly, as an activator, that makes sense to me as well, because ideally the activator once develops a future, once that person develops a future, and in my case develops a concept of the future, I got to start putting these things into practice almost immediately. Now, how I envision the future does not turn out the way I envision it immediately. But what typically happens is I begin to lay the foundation that allows the future to become what I believe it could become. Analytical, of course, I think that goes hand in hand with being futuristic. And I think many of my staff members and team members would suggest that I'm very analytical when it comes to our work. Command. I tend to have a presence when I'm working with my team, and of course, focus. I have to be extremely focused as I'm doing my work and as I'm working on developing a future for the organization I'm a part of. Now, the next question is, if you listed 5 strengths before you took the assessment, was your self-assessment correct? I would say, yeah, these would be some of the, if not all of the assessments that I would list for myself before I took this assessment. The third question says, how many strengths did you correctly identify for yourself? And again, because I think question 2 and 3 are one and the same, I would say that all of this would be accurate as I evaluate myself and as I look at the skills I bring to the table and the things that I'm working on. These 5 here are really important, and they speak to my work. They speak to my personality. They speak to the skills I developed over the years. They speak to the skills I need to continue to strengthen as I continue to get better at my work. But look at this 4th question here. Do you feel the assessment was generally correct for you? If so, why? If not, why not? Now, in my first response to the first question, I do feel like these strengths were correct. They spoke to who I am as a person, and I think that if I was to give a 360 review to my peers and my team members, I think that a lot of folks would have the same assessments of me. And here's the last question. How do you think the assessment will help me achieve my long-term career goals? I have a number of long-term career goals, and particularly those goals are really centered around achieving strategic goals for the organization I'm a part of and for the clients that I serve. So certainly as I evaluate the outlook of my organization, as I evaluate the outlook of the clients that I'm serving, as I evaluate the outcomes I want to see happen in the state of Connecticut, I think that these strengths are extremely important. So I have to have a vision of the future that I want to see for the organization, for my clients, and for the state. I need to activate it, right? I need to make sure that those things come to pass that I envision. I need to be analytical about the process. I need to be analytical about relationships, about resources, about strategies. I need to have a command of the process. I need to have a command of the execution. I need to have a command of the strategy. And I need to be extremely focused. I cannot be distracted by new shiny things that may pop up along the way, or things that are intended to distract me. I got to be focused on what I'm looking to accomplish. So for me, as someone who is continuously looking at what I want to see happen, how I want to see it happen, where I want to see it happen, I believe that these strengths are very important to my career outlook. Now, these are the things that I thought about as I went through this process, and certainly I will engage with each and every one of you to talk about this even further as you ask me questions or as you point out things that you've heard that I've communicated. And I want you to be encouraged that as you go through your assessment, and you look at your strengths, look at these strengths as an opportunity to enhance and develop your leadership. No one person has leadership figured out. I certainly don't. You don't. My peers don't, others don't. It is a work in progress. And I believe that as we look at these strengths, as we look at other tools and things that we will be engaging in this particular course, you will start to see yourself evolve in this semester alone in terms of your leadership, or at least your thought process towards leadership. So please take an opportunity to really deeply engage others and to learn more about yourself as you evaluate your strengths and as you look at how you can continue to get better as a leader. Hope this helps, and I'll talk to you guys soon in the discussion thread.